Okay, now without further ado, right, we have Dr. Olufunke Okeni. Uh, what can I say about my friend Olu? You know, my twin sister from another Mister. We have, we were probably separated at birth, believe it or not, with
I
the
know.
commonalities that we have, and our although we don't look alike, trust me, once you we hang out, you'll notice immediately how much we love the same things. We're passionate about helping people. We're passionate about music, books, career development, all the things that are at the core of some of the things that we do here. But most importantly, you know, I wanted when I asked Olu to help me out. When I met Olu in Orlando, I said, you know what? Wouldn't it be amazing that we have people in Africa? And of course, her eyes lit up and say, "Oh my God, this would be a great opportunity for us to be able to do something different, right? And be able to reach out to places where a lot of people don't focus on." So it's really thanks to her that the source of inspiration for us in Spanish in Africa uh, came from me enjoying so many beautiful times with Olu. Um, and now we have probably 6 people. So we
Yeah.
have Funmi, we have uh, Comlan,
Come on.
uh, we have Sina now in South Africa, Mimi, and Donna. So we
Donna.
have 6 people in Africa, and we keep growing. They're doing amazing. Uh, but and you'll meet Kamlan if his internet works. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Mm.
But if the internet works, we'll have him introduce himself as well. But without further ado, Miss Dr. Olufunke, welcome.
Thanks, Hernan. Oh, you already introduced us. We are twins. Something happened, one mystic hand separated us and gave us different complexions. But I'm sure they can see that we look alike a lot. So that's taken care of. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here with you all. I know I joined the meeting just a couple of minutes ago, so I look forward to meeting you all one-on-one, right? I will drop my LinkedIn profile, the link to my LinkedIn profile here for you guys. Feel free to connect with me. And look, yes, I'm a global mentor, so I'm not just a mentor for Apprentice Africa. I live here in the United States, and all the mentors in Apprentice are here for everybody. So do not feel there's any restriction. There's no restriction whatsoever. There are no walls here except the great walls that we build as monuments for the world to see. Okay, so no restriction. So I'm going to share my screen. I have just a very short um, presentation for you guys today. Please confirm when you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. So
So
okay, I think yeah, let me put it this way. All righty, okay. What doesn't have a brain can be smarter than us. So let's show this out. Okay, great. So today I just want to talk very briefly. I know I have 15 minutes and I'm looking at the time to just talk about career kryptonites, eliminating career kryptonites. Right. There are these kryptonites that a lot of us, especially minorities, right, carry along. I don't know if any one of you knows anything about a kryptonite. In fact, let's start from there. Who knows what a kryptonite is? I have 2 screens, so if I feel like if you see me looking up, it's because I have 2 screens. The camera is here and I have a larger screen there. So don't think the angle is weird. So if you know what a kryptonite is, I'd like you to speak up. What's kryptonite?
So I think the kryptonite would be kind of like your, in a sense, your nemesis if you compare it to like a supervillain and an enemy. Basically, the thing that can hurt you the most and is like your biggest weakness.
Yeah, you got it. That's great. Thanks, Charles. It's your biggest weakness. You could call it your Achilles heel. But this is the found. Let's tell where we even got the kryptonite from, right? We all know Superman. I used this picture because he's a really good-looking guy, and I like looking at good things. Hernan, I see it there. All right, you can't miss it with Henry Cavill. All right, okay. So there is this mythical figure, cartoon figure called Superman, okay? And the only weakness he has is kryptonite. Kryptonite is this substance that, you know, just weakens him from the core. And he, once kryptonite is around him, you can easily overpower this very super strong man. So kryptonite is a fictional material, right, that appears in Superman stories. It's best known in the green color. It's got different colors. However, it weakens Superman. So learning from that, we'll say that it's someone's weakness or something that can be used to hurt someone who is strong. We all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. And we all have triggers. When you meet someone, you meet that person's past, all their experiences, all their lessons learned, right? You don't know all their lessons learned. You don't know what their weaknesses are. You don't know what their strengths are right out of the bat. You may know a little about them, but you may not know a lot. But as time goes on, right, when you start mixing with people or they start mixing with you, as you relate with one another, you start realizing, oh, this is a trigger, this is a kryptonite for this person. This triggers this other individual, right? And so when people recognize what your kryptonite is, it becomes a weapon in the work environment, right? So let's look at 3 major kryptonites that we want to look out for as we proceed in our careers, right? So one is procrastination. The second is fear, and the third is the imposter syndrome, okay? So what's procrastination? I'll simply call it the thief of time, right? It's the thief of time. There's an English saying, a stitch in time saves 9. Have you had an outfit that was ripped or, you know, got caught by a sharp object and you left it? And after a while, you realize that that tear, that little nip has expanded. That's what happens when you procrastinate. What you're supposed to achieve, right? When you don't achieve it, the cost of not achieving it becomes greater. So if you look at these 3 circles, the red is things I should do. The blue is things I would like to do. Then you have on the side, things I do when I am procrastinating. But do you observe that the red and the blue circle, where they meet, there's nothing written in there? Procrastination, what it does is you have these 2 lists of things you should do, things you would like to do, but then there's nothing on your done list. Your done list is those things you should do and those things you would like to do that you have done, that you have completed. But when you've not done anything, whoa, that place is empty. When that place is empty, it means you have no achievement. You don't have anything to show for your time. Don't forget that the one currency we all have equally is time. So the question is, when you're procrastinating, what do you do? What are those things you do when you're procrastinating? What's the value of those things? Are they valuable to your career? If you want to read a book or you want to do a certificate course on maybe web design, for example, and you keep procrastinating, if the college you want to get into, if admission forms, if the forms you should fill your application, if the deadline for applications is January 3rd, And then you wake up January 6th and you're like, oh, these applications, let me quickly go do them. You've already missed an entire semester if you're not careful, right? If there's this job you want to apply for and you're like, oh, I'll come back to you, I'll come back to you, I'll come back to it. And then one day you're like, oh, I haven't applied for this job. You get to the internet and you see applications are no longer accepted for this role. Oh, right? So you rob yourself of a lot of good when you procrastinate. Okay, I'm going to move a little faster. So what are the impacts? In your career, you're talking of missed career promotions and increased pay. You're talking of devaluation of your professional brand, right? Because people wouldn't be able to trust you when you say, oh, I'll get it done by Monday, or it's not done by Monday, right? And in the work environment, time is money. Then you get into a dangerous cycle of victimhood because people start blaming you all the time for one fail or the other. The other risk you open yourself to is even if the fail is not your fault, if you're remotely connected to it, if you have a habit of procrastinating and not delivering on time, then you are blamed for different kinds of things. And the work environment is really tricky. It's like being in the ocean. You don't know what you're going to encounter. So you want to ensure that you do not, you spend your time judiciously, you spend your time appropriately so that you do not get yourself into a dangerous cycle of victimhood. Now, another impact of procrastination is frayed or broken relationships. You could have a frayed relationship with your colleague. You could have a broken relationship with your manager. Now, that's one relationship you do not want to have frayed. However, it happens. But you want to ensure that you're not the one causing the fray and you're not exacerbating the fray, right? And procrastination can really do that. So the second kryptonite is fear. I picked 3 things in particular to talk about when it comes to fear. There's fear of failure, right? There's fear of success, and there's fear of change, right? Have you been given an assignment and you just freeze because you look at it, oh my goodness, this is so big. Oh, what if I fail? What if I don't know how to do it? Or you have a presentation and you are so frozen, you cannot get your words out, right? That's fear. It paralyzes. Fear is false evidence as appearing real. I love that acronym for fear. False evidence appearing real. There are times that you could be offered a role that you think is too big for you, and you are afraid of your success. You can be afraid of success. I've seen it happen. What if I succeed so much and then they make me a manager? I don't want to manage people, you know. Hey, first of all, take a deep breath. You have to really watch out for feelings of fear. Don't forget that fear is a feeling. This is a kryptonite. This is a huge kryptonite in the work environment. When you're afraid of something, first take a deep breath. And I'll talk later about things you can do to overcome these. Well, these are 3 major fears that over the course of your career, I want you to keep an eye out for these because they can readily trip you. And then the imposter syndrome. This is the feelings of inadequacy when you feel like you're a fraud, right? Sometimes you may, for example, if you get a job at a company that you've admired for so long, right? You get a job there and you just feel, oh my goodness, how did I even qualify to be here? That feelings of being a fraud is called the imposter syndrome. And who is susceptible to it? People who are workaholics, people who work very long hours, not taking time off, struggling to relax. When you see that, if you have that trait, take a look in the mirror. Are you doing it out of fear? Are you doing it because you feel you're an imposter, that you don't deserve to be where you are? Now, being a perfectionist can be a mask for the imposter syndrome. You know, you're never satisfied. You're struggling to delegate, or you're micromanaging because you're not relaxed in your environment. Sometimes being strong, never asking for help, being too independent. So that's all. Just give me a second. Okay. And then being an expert. These are signs to look out for, right? If you need to know everything and you believe that you never know enough, yes, it's good. I read a lot. I mean, Hernan reads a lot as well, right? It's good to be inquisitive, but then you shouldn't be addicted to it and let your desire to be an expert be driven by fear that you want to be the most perfect person in your environment. Let's get it. Perfection is an illusion, okay? What's perfect to you may not be perfect to me. Perfection is an illusion. It's not a standard. You want to be excellent. Everyone knows what excellence is, right? But perfection is an illusion. So if you keep hearing or you're ever told, oh, I want you to be perfect, that's a red flag, right? Whoever is telling you, I want you to be perfect, doesn't even have an idea of what standard they really want from you, right? Right there, you want to ask, okay, what does perfection look like to you, right? So don't be a perfectionist. Don't go after perfection, because you are not perfect. And even the system, the environment you're working, the person you're reporting to is not going to be perfect. Your colleagues are not going to be perfect, right? So I want you to really look out for this imposter syndrome. Research shows that imposter syndrome is prevalent amongst minorities, right? It's actually more prevalent amongst women. So I really want us to take a look at this as you move forward in your career, as you take steps in your career, right? Just recognize that, yes, you may recognize gaps in your understanding. You may recognize gaps in your expertise, but don't feel that you do not deserve or you are not worth being where you are, okay? You are not a fraud. You're an original. There's no original. There's no body who can be a better you than you, okay? Okay, just in 2 minutes. So let's go to the impact of career kryptonite. It instills self-doubt and low self-esteem, right? People will reject praise and downplay achievements, and that allows others to take their claim. So don't downplay your achievements, right? Because that's a sign that, you know, you're afraid. That's a sign of imposter syndrome. Now, these kryptonites also impede your career growth. They hamper your leadership, right? You won't be able to stand as a leader, and even the good things that you have to offer your employer or to offer your colleagues, you won't be able to offer them, okay? Now, it also restricts innovation and risk-taking. In your career, over the course of a career, you would have to take risks. But if you feel like an imposter, if you're afraid, you will not be able to take those risks. It affects your mental health, especially the imposter syndrome. It really creates stress and anxiety. Procrastination will eventually put you in that position as well. You would experience mental health stress if you're a procrastinator, because procrastination would rob you of achievements that could help propel you in your career, okay? And of course, we've talked about other impacts like missed career promotions, devaluation of your brand, dangerous cycle of victimhood, frayed relationships, and financial stress. So the last slide, how do you overcome these kryptonites? One, separate fact from feeling. When you're afraid, remember that fear is a feeling. Separate facts from that feeling. The fact that you feel like a fraud does not mean you are a fraud, okay? So just because you feel something doesn't mean you are. All right, now stop striving to be perfect. I mentioned that. Welcome positive feedback and internalize praise, right? Don't fixate on negative feedback. Listen, right? Learn when you get negative feedback, because it helps. A lot of times, negative feedback is what really helps you most in your career, because somebody's telling you your blind spot, somebody's telling you, okay, there's a gap here, there's a gap there, and you know what to take care of, right? But do not internalize negative feedback. Attribute your success truthfully, right? Don't stop attributing your success to luck. Oh, I was just lucky. No, you prepared for it. If you feel you were unprepared, don't forget that that you've had years of experience in school and in apprentice, different things. All these things prepare you for every opportunity that you'll encounter in the work environment, right? So attribute your success truthfully, because when you attribute it to luck, you undermine your own confidence. It's not luck, right? You undermine your abilities and confidence when you attribute things to luck. Just be grateful and appreciative, okay? Forgive your mistakes. Mistakes are how we learn best, okay? Forgive your mistakes and just recalibrate, all right? Identify your rules. You don't always have to be right. Oh, I must be perfect. I must be right all the time. No. You're a human being. Even computers crash. There's something called virus, right? So allow yourself, even as you're working towards excellence, right? Don't box yourself into a corner. Change your internal script and underlying beliefs, right? So the next time you make a presentation, just say, oh, I won't dry up. I know what I want to present. Imagine kinds of questions you can be asked. Just be prepared. Just know that, okay, you've done your best. Just know that you've done your best. When ask yourself, have I done my best here? Do I know what I'm presenting? What kind of questions can be asked about what I'm presenting? How will I answer those questions? Just prepare and know that, okay, there can be one or two people who will just want to cause the ruckus, that's okay. That is them. Don't put it on yourself. And breathe. Change your internal script, okay? Words are life. The words you speak to yourself affect you a lot. And the last one, make a balanced list of your strengths and your accomplishments. Don't discount your successes. Don't let, somebody may try to claim your success, but do not discount it, right? Do not discount your success. If you did something, you achieved it, recognize, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this, because you can use those successes to encourage yourself to do more. Oh, wow, I didn't know I could do this before and I did it. That's great, so I can do much more, and you keep going, all right? So that's the presentation I have for you today. I will share it with Hernan so that we can share it with you all. And if you have questions on these, right, because for each one of them, procrastination, fear, or imposter syndrome, you could write books, okay? So there's a lot of information behind these, but I just wanted to share these snippets and nuggets with you, all right? There we have it. Hernan, over to you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Olufunke. By the way, this is being recorded, so you'll get a chance to review it again and again and again. These are timeless tips, right? That can be used at any time. And I like what you said about that this is something that's prevalent in minorities, because one of the aspects that I tell people is so having no fear, right, is really what has gotten many opportunities for me. Yes, I am afraid, but I don't let that dominate me, right? There's a book that I read called The 5-Second Rule. I don't know if you've heard it before, but the 5-second rule is, when you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, you keep counting forever and it takes forever. But when you go to and I've been to Kennedy Space Center, and you see the launch of a rocket, they go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You do it, right? You do it. Don't give yourself more than 5 seconds. Whatever it is that you're afraid of, you just do it. Sometimes it happens to me when I try to send an email, right? I'm like, should I send this email? Oh, no. 5, 4, blank. I don't even wait for the 5-second rule. because this is how we overcome fear, by acting. What an
Mhm.
amazing advice. And by the way, what a testament to all this as well. If I didn't know you, right, you're she's Olufunke is talking from the heart, because this is what she did herself, right? What she had to overcome herself to get to, from Nigeria, right, to the United States, making it in the United States and working for one of the largest technology companies in the world, right? Accomplished author. What else can I tell you? She took that fear, took that kryptonite, and just worked on it. And I'm sure she's still working on some things. By the way, we all always are, right?
We always.
But that doesn't stop us from accomplishing something, right? Perfection. I think that we strive towards perfection, but the only thing in my life that I feel that is perfect is God, right? For me,
Mhm.
everybody has their own beliefs, but God is perfect. I'm not God, right? But I strive towards being the best that I can, and I don't let the whatever hold me back. I just do it, right?
Mhm.
Uh, the biggest fear, well, you tell the one of the things that I'm tackling now, and you can't tackle everything at the same time either. But let's be realistic, right?
Gotcha.
So why I wanted to accomplish some things in my career, and at the same time, having a relationship, and at the same time, losing weight. Believe me, I haven't been able to do all of them at the same time, but I tackle one at a time. The latest one, Olu, is my weight, right? I've been
Mhm.
focusing on that, and the past year and the pandemic, when the worst time, I said, you know what, this is the time. This is the time that I'm not that uh, interacting so much, and going to restaurants and bars so much, and that helps, right? That helped me with my eating disorder, and you know I have no fear in telling you that I'm still struggling, but you know what, that doesn't stop me from trying, and this is a great reminder. So again, thank you, honey. I appreciate it. um, I
And
know we have a few more minutes. I didn't. I wanted to stay only 5 more minutes, or 5-10 minutes if we can. A couple of minutes to give Comlan an opportunity, if he can, to introduce himself. He's in Nigeria, and he wanted to come and say hi to Dr. Olu as well, and you guys. Is he there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
hello, Comlan. How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm fine. Thanks for the insightful presentation. I'm
You're
sorry
welcome.
for joining late. Yeah, it's late here. It's about 2 a.m. So I just have to struggle to be here today.
Glad to have
Well,
you.
yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
By the way, if you want to meet, we had last month we had an Africa regional. It's really continental, but we call it regional conference. Um, and he come and get a spectacular presentation about Nigeria. It's in our YouTube channel. If you want to see it, please take a time and see it. You'll learn so much about Africa, such an amazing, wonderful, and humongous country, right? With very many opportunities for those that want to do business. And Kamlan shared some opportunities as well. If anybody wants to connect with him, he's our representative there. And I met him actually through Goodwall as well, like
Yeah,
Mike and some of the new associates and apprentices.
That event got everyone hungry with all the food that they showed us.
I know he's
Oh
not a
my,
good influence here.
oh my God.
Okay, I'm going to. I shared with everybody just to finish. We talked a lot about getting out of our comfort zone and putting fear aside, right? I shared with you the link to the course that I shared with the team a little earlier about personal branding, And I just want to share a couple of things here. Let me see if I can, if I'm able to share my screen. Let me see. I don't know if I can share my screen at the time. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I want you to take a look at this link, right? And I want to talk about personal branding. So when I think of personal branding, you know, everybody thinks that that it's not okay to. So sometimes we're told, you know, to basically to calm down, right? To not have an ego. And when we talk about personal branding, we're not talking about you being an egotistical person and try to overpower everybody, right? What you're trying is to let the world know your value. And sometimes we hold it back. We hold it back. And you know, the world needs you, right? The world needs your talent. The world needs your brain power. If not, you wouldn't be alive, right? You came to this earth to contribute. So, how will people know about you and what you have to contribute if you don't talk, if you don't share, if you don't promote, right? Again, yes, we want to be respectful. There's some platforms where you don't want to overpower people because there's other people and they, you know, like here, for example, if you guys would be talking, all of you at the same time, we couldn't hear what was being said in the teaching. But what I do want to make sure is that you guys understand that you're here to contribute to the world, right? The second thing is that you're always being looked at by your peers, mentors, and those that you network with. This is important as well, particularly if you do negative things, right? So if you say something that you are a professional and that you're contributing to the world, just know that you're always going to be, you know, portraying yourself. You don't know how many people I have, I don't know, 8,000 is the last time I checked my LinkedIn. And when I talk to people, they sometimes they reach out to me and they know everything that I've been doing for the past 10 years. And I ever wonder, you know, I haven't talked to that person one time, but I realized that this is a confirmation that everything that we do, everybody sees, right? So my advice is always to always try to do the right thing. Just know that there's consequences for what you do, but at the same time, you know, it's okay to get out there if what you're doing is what you believe is correct, right? But just know that there might be negative consequences if you do something that is incorrect too. So one of the things that I tell people is anything that you put out there in the internet, okay, it's gonna be searched at some point, right? People talk about the blockchain and all this stuff. So just, you know, just be mindful and be careful, but don't be afraid. Just be mindful and careful, but that shouldn't stop you from sharing. You just need to make sure that what you share is, you know, you and the goodness of you. So some of the things that I don't know if you have the link there. Let me see if I can. I'll try. Here we go. So in the book, it talks about knowing your purpose, knowing your audience, knowing what you're offering. This is a clear thing. If you're offering multiple things, that's okay, right? Just know your audience. Who do you offer to, and that's okay. Authenticity and consistency. If you're gonna share something about yourself, you know, it always helps to be authentic, and that, you know, you don't come showcase yourself, and then all of a sudden you hide for 10 months, right? If you got to be consistent. So for example, one of the things that I do, and I hope that I portray this in business. So I am a global banking expert and a trade finance, connoisseur and guru, right? A global trade finance guru. So that may mean nothing to most of you, but for the people that are looking for, global trade finance advice, I want them to think of me first, right? And this is why I provide content, expert content, whenever I can about global trade finance and working capital management. If I'm not doing that, then my degree is international finance and marketing. My master's degree is in international business. I did it on purpose because this is what I chose as my career. So you're gonna see a consistent message on this stuff. The other message that I portray is that I share with people. So Hernan does two things, right? Hernan is an expert networking guy. You guys know this, right? I don't have to hide the fact that I love networking. Why? And the answer is very simple. First, I love people, right? I love meeting people and learning about different cultures, as you know. And this is a passion of mine since I started in Miami. But the second, and most importantly, whenever people want to come for a request on who to find, particularly when it comes to business, I want people to think of me. Why? Guess what? In business, the one that knows where things are makes a little more money than the one that doesn't know. Okay? So I make it a purpose of people, particularly when it comes to finance and business, right? Anything that has to do with, entertainment, although I don't know if you know, but I'm a singer as well. And I love to dance like Mike. But in business, right, besides global trade finance, I want to be the center of influence, to be able to share ideas. And if I don't have the knowledge, I want to know where to find it, right? I want to know, if I'm not an engineer, I know where the engineer is. I need a doctor, I know where the doctor's at. Why? Because this is what people need, a resource. They come to me for a resource. And in business, I get paid for that, right? In life, for my friends, I don't need to get paid for it, but they still come to me. Why? Because I love helping people out, period. So, just know what you want to accomplish, and let that be a consistent message. By the way, so Charles, for example, it's okay not to know everything about a particular subject, right? Let's say you like artificial intelligence or business analytics or business intelligence, right? If you are consistently reading about a subject, I would highly encourage you and Tanya, for example, and Mike, that whatever you read, you share, right? Anything that you read, you share. Why is that important? Because that now you're letting the world know what you want to do. And you're starting to become a household name in that industry. You have to take the first steps, right? If you want to be if you want to be the go-to marketing person, right, Tanya? We've had these discussions before. You chose that marketing is what you like, right? Or what you like the most, because you like many things. You know what? Now, everything that you learn, you share. Learn and share. Artificial intelligence and marketing, social media marketing, how to strategize. Anything that you are learning, you share. And that will bring a lot of opportunities to you, okay? Mike, we just met, but I know you're a person that has a lot of talents, right? You have to streamline maybe your messages by buckets, and then you have one bucket for entertainment, you have one bucket for languages, you have one bucket for education, right? And then you consistently drive that message to the buckets that you choose, right? In the in the language bucket, meaning your target audience for languages, or just to give an example, maybe they're not interested in your entertainment, right? It's okay. So to those, I don't talk to the people that are in languages about entertainment. It's the same thing with me. I love to sing in karaoke. Do you guys care about that? Maybe you do. The reality is, this is not something that has to be shared with this audience. This audience is about professional career development, right? And then I have an audience for an audience for books, an audience for that. So it's important not be everything to everybody, right? Let me see from the book. By the way, this is all in the book that I put in the link as well. Just FYI. So the book I shared with you, if not, the book is in the link as well, about personal branding. Building a network, right? Ways to live your personal branding and increase visibility. How do you build your network? One person at a time. This is what I call about, for example, in our team. How do you build our network? We build it one leader at a time, consistently. Every month we get one or two people to be part of our network, and so on and so forth. You do the same thing. You want to be an expert in a particular area, you focus in that area and continue, building your network, for that niche that you're in, one at a time. It gives some examples of branding, of personal branding. So Steve Jobs, it talks about Steve Jobs. Who doesn't know Steve Jobs, right? Who didn't know one of the greatest minds that, at least in my lifetime, and changed the world with all the tools that we now use. But he had a brand, right? Innovation. He had a brand about consistency, about leadership. So many things that maybe we don't attribute to Apple, but we attribute to the way that we present now and entertainment, right? Mixing entertainment with technology. It's spectacular. The Kardashians, right? Whatever you think about the Kardashians doesn't really matter, but that they're genius marketers, that they are, right? They use every opportunity in the attention that they get to sell something. You don't believe me? Just if you don't, I follow the Kardashians on social media because they're brilliant marketers, right? They came from the wrong spectrum, right? So Kim Kardashian, she had the sex tapes and videos, and that's how she started. But you know what? She took advantage of that platform of people that were, wanting to know about gossipy things, and all of a sudden, blam, she sells them, lingerie. Blam, she sells some makeup, etc., etc., etc. And this is just a, great example that you started a niche and you expand and you grow from that niche. Whatever you believe, if it's correct or not, that's not the point. The point is she has a personal brand and her family, right? And again, just think about when you're putting yourself out there, just think about you as a brand. There's another book that I read a few years ago about, it's called Hoot, Hoot. It's the art of tooting your own horn without being an egomaniac, basically. So there's an art, there's a fine line, right? Again, but the fine line is that you're doing it in a way that doesn't become, that doesn't belittle people. That's really what it is. That doesn't put other people down. That's really the line. You don't. When you're going to that line, I tell you, it's best not to do it. So, one last thing I'll share with you with my first mentor. So I went to a military academy 12 years, and my mentor was Colonel Harry P. Michelli. He was in charge of the Bay of Pigs invasion forces that were about to invade Cuba in the 1960s. He was an old man when I met him, older man, and he was in charge of training us in the academy. And one of the things that he said to me, which I'll never forget, is in a vacuum of leadership, true leaders rise. And what he meant by this, I understand it now more than ever. It is sometimes there's enough leaders to go around, right? And at that moment, um, you know, if they're good leaders, you respect them, you follow them. If they gain your respect, you follow them, and everything is fine. But in a vacuum, let's say that person is not around. Guess what? True leaders rise. This is where you have to see the opportunity. I tell that to my AK side folks all the time. Take action where there's inaction. Same things happen when there's injustice, right? Take action when you see that something is wrong. This is the time where leaders step up. Okay, so again, I guess it tied to what Olufunke said, personal branding perfectly. So don't be afraid. Continue doing what you're doing. Continue putting yourself out there. Don't hide. The world needs you, right? And even if you are not an extrovert, right? You're an introvert. It doesn't matter. The world needs whatever it is that you're offering, and the time to offer it is not in 10 years. They need you now, right? And it doesn't matter at what stage in your career you're in. You can be a leader, a young leader, or you can be an old leader, but you always have to lead. Sometimes you have to wait your turn, or sometimes you need to, let other people lead. If things are going fine, you support them. But there's a time, and you'll see that you don't let your kryptonite hold you back. This is the time is now. 9:22. I have to leave. It's a little later than I should, but any questions? We didn't talk about your assignments and how the internships were going. So in 1 or 2 minutes, maybe Charles and Tanya, anything you want to share about your internship or what you're doing?
Yeah, so sure. So I basically had 2 projects last week that I just worked on, and I presented to Michelle. It was Saturday, and we came up for new plans. So we want to work with another marketing agency just to do the whole rebranding. So we're on the search. So this week is a little lighter, but we're on the search together. We go on the meetings together, so I can also listen how it works. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Excellent. Chicks and flips. Well, Michelle is just she's a serial entrepreneur and brilliant mind with many thousands of things going on at the same time. So I'm happy that you're helping her a little bit. Awesome. Charles, anything you want to share about what you're doing, if you're doing anything?
Not much has happened lately this last week, but I did get a chance for him to go through a demo process where he was showing us the whole dashboard and the overall functionality of the website and what it looks like for a user perspective and what it looks like for us, and more or less the different kind of things that you can mess around and play with to have a better understanding of what's going on, and kind of just getting a gist of essentially how the program's working and how all the data is being tracked together. He'd given me, I guess you call it an assignment, where he wanted me to look over 2 different kinds of documents and kind of see where things need to be updated in one that haven't been updated in the other.
So he, by the way, so Charles is working with a company that's doing the IoT, no? That the one that you're working on? I always forget because I know Eric has a few companies, but the IoT is basically the Internet of Things. So things that control through Wi-Fi connections, that control machineries, control temperatures, control, the doors, everything, right? So it can be applied for many, many things. So great experience. I want to hear more. By the way, at the end, I don't know if you knew, but at the end, both you, Tanya, and whoever we have in the internship program will have an opportunity to present what you did in the summer to a panel of people in your industries. So, you know, I'll that happened to Tanya. I don't know if you know, but Tara did that in front of the head of marketing for MasterCard, the head of the largest Hispanic digital marketing firm, the head of marketing for SeaWorld. And I hope that you have the same experience. Same thing with Charles. We'll make sure that everybody knows, right? Talk about personal branding. Make sure that everybody knows what you did. Sounds like a movie show. What you did last summer? Is that a show?
Yeah, it is actually, but it's a thriller, I think. And it's kind of dark.
It's kind of spooky when you don't know what you're doing, but you're gonna be fine. Okay, Daniel, I love your haircut, bro. I love it. I haven't seen you in a while though.
Gracias, gracias. Un new look ahí.
Good job, brother. Okay, so you guys, I'll leave you. It was great to have you. This is gonna be recorded. Again, welcome, Mike, to the team. We're here for you. I saw that you already posted in the apprentice.cc in our new directory. By the way, check if you're in the directory. If you're not in the directory, sign up. Once you sign up, people will have a chance to see your profile, see you. You can write articles. You can do whatever you want there, as long as it's professional related or career related, or you're promoting yourself. Just don't talk about chickens having babies, because that's on the form. At any rate, any questions? Going once, going twice. Guys, take care of yourselves. Thank you. Olu, thank you again. Geraldo, pórtate bien.
You're welcome, Hernan.
I make no promises.
Oh my God, Okeni. I missed that little frog.
Doggy.
Oh man, yeah, that's why I got my microphone muted the whole meeting, because if not, they were not gonna let you guys talk.
By the way, that's an animal that only lives in Puerto Rico. Well, actually, they have in Hawaii as well. But in Hawaii, they kill them as pests. I don't know if you knew that. In Puerto Rico, it's the national animal. We take care of it, and what it does is, Geraldo, you listen to it.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful. That puts me to sleep at night. And some people find it annoying when I'm on the phone, because they can hear them. Like sometimes I'm in the kitchen and they're all the way back here. Like I live in like a mountain, and all the way back here there's just a whole nest of them. So you can hear them really strong. Sometimes I'm in the kitchen, people tell me that they can't hear what I'm saying because they hear the cookies on the phone.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's how I went to sleep every night for 18 years until I came to Miami. Then I couldn't sleep anymore. Yeah. At any rate, God bless you guys. Thank you.
Nos vemos, chao.
Ciao.